Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing 3 products for you. The products that I'm going to be going into are the Ordinary Serum Foundation. I'm going to be looking at the highly anticipated Makeup Revolution Concealer, and I'm also going to be reviewing the Nip and Fab liquid lipstick as well. So this is the look that I kind of came up and created with these products, and if you guys want to find out my thoughts and watch me doing some different things with them, then just keep watching. I'll put timestamps down below. So, the Serum Foundation, I'm hoping that it's going to be the right shade. I don't mind being a little bit darker with my foundation because it's quite lightweight normally, and then I can use a concealer to lighten it up. So I'll just read some of the claims. So it says the foundation that every single beauty buff wants to get their hands on. This lightweight medium coverage serum is crafted from colour pigments suspended in the Ordinary's proprietary spreadability system. This unique formulation allows the pigments to look natural on the skin, stay on for longer and resist collecting within lines. In 21 versatile hues with clever undertone identifiers, snap up your shade for seamless coverage, not to mention endless beauty brownie points. So what I imagine is this is a lightweight medium coverage. I'm hoping that it's quite nourishing as well. Wow, okay. Okay, it's dark. So I'm not tanned at the moment, but this might be a little bit dark. Normally what I do with foundation is I will put one that's slightly darker on. As it's on my hand, the formula does look really nice, so I'm just gonna spread a little bit. I'll just do one pump first, see how we get on, and then it is quite dark. But then saying that, my hand is quite light. Okay, the first thing that I notice is that it is very, very sheer, and that's coming from me, someone who likes a sheer coverage in their foundation. I'm not mad at this. I'm going to just tie my hair back. The reason that I'm not mad for this is because I normally tend to get most of my coverage from my concealer anyway, but I need to put another pump on my hand, I think, because see how this builds, because right now this is extremely, extremely sheer. With what I'm used to, something like Face and Body, you get a thickness to it, so it is a sheer coverage, but it's got a little bit more of a medium, sheer to medium consistency, whereas this, well, it's building a little bit. It is also definitely dark for me, but I'm normally not this fair, so it's okay. I like the colour a lot. The colour that I picked up is 3.0Y, so it's going to have more of that golden undertone. It looks very, very natural. I'm just using a buffing brush to blend it in. I don't feel like this would work very well with a beauty blender. I think it's because I'm so totally not used to this that it is going to take a little while to get used to. The one thing that I would be concerned about would be it showing up like texture on my skin. I would be concerned about it clinging to areas. With serum foundations that I've tried before, they just don't tend to work out for me. I'm not entirely sure how I like it at the moment. I'm not as wowed, I think, as I want it to be, but you know, for £6 you 100% can't complain at all. So what I would say is if anybody knows their shades in MAC foundation, this is like the equivalent to an NC35 Studio Fix, a C5 Face and Body. I can see a lot of my skin underneath. That is how I like my foundation. I don't like it to look like it's covering everything. Oh, there's some interesting... What's going on there? Ooh. Okay, it's doing this thing on my neck. What is that? Okay, it's doing this weird thing on my neck where it's like it looks like it's flaking off any dry skin. That's weird. Okay. Okay, I don't like that at all. Ugh, it's like coming off in patches, that's weird. Okay, I'm not a huge fan of that. Okay. I also feel like it's not sticking to this part of my head either. My skin isn't dry at the moment, but I have got a cold, so sometimes it is a little bit temperamental. But there's no reason that it shouldn't be sticking to areas, like, unless it was my nose. I've never had a foundation not stick to like my forehead. I also feel like to get the most out of this foundation, patting it in like this, oh, it's gonna get you the most coverage. Yeah, the coverage is building up a little bit now. I'm kind of just patting it in. I'm sorry again for being ill and my nose just sounding awful. Okay, so patting it in has given me a lot more coverage, but I don't know how reliable that will be in a wear test. Okay, patting it in is actually really nice. I think I prefer it a lot more from patting it. I know it's very yellow. Again, as I say, I've not got my fake tan on. I do also feel like sometimes with low coverage foundations can feel like they'll just disappear, and I don't get that feeling from this. Just gonna blend it down my neck a little bit. Okay, so you can kind of see it here, it's got a glow to it. Obviously it's a lot more golden than I am. Okay, so on a scale of like 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it a 5. I'm not overly into it, I'm not into it. Let's go on to the main event. So this is what we're all here for really, isn't it? Let's be honest. So the Makeup Revolution concealer, I picked up 3 shades. I actually managed to try some when I was in store just with samples. They didn't have any left in stock. So I managed to pick up C5, C9 and C6. So I'm just going to do quick swatches of those. So the first one is C5. I actually think is quite a pinky neutral undertone. So I'll do C6 next, which I think is going to be a little bit more me. And then C9, which again, when I swatched it, it's very, very pink, but not dark, which is strange. So, this is C5, this is C6, and this is C9. So, what I don't quite understand is how they are all the same undertone, because they're not, okay? They're not the same undertone. I'm going to use a little bit of the middle one, which is C6. I'm going to use a bit of these two. I'm going to put a little bit of the darker one, which was C5, which again just doesn't make any sense. I'm going to put that on my face, and I'm going to just blend that in so that we even out the colour of my skin a little bit. And this is just one applicator amount, if that makes sense. So I'm just using up as much as I can. So that's actually covered quite a bit. That was just one like dispense. So let's try blending that in a little bit. So I've heard this is supposed to be like the Tarte Shape Tape but a little bit more dewy. It blends really nicely and I'm actually not mad at how that's kind of blended in. That's really nice. So this has given me, I would say, more of a medium coverage. I actually really like these two together, the foundation and this colour. I'm a big fan of mixing my products, so I like mixing foundations, I like mixing concealers together as well. I don't feel like I could ever just be like a one product thing on the skin. I feel like plus my skin tone is very neutral as well, so that's why I've mixed a little bit of that more pinky colour with the yellow. So I feel like this is a little bit more my skin tone. It's not obviously exactly perfect, but we're definitely getting there. I think I'm going to use a bit of C5 again because I don't want to be using the C6. It's a little bit pale. Do down the nose, a little bit in the forehead. I wouldn't normally put this much concealer on, but here we are. First thing that I'm really noticing is the blendability of it is absolutely perfect. I absolutely love it. What I tend to find is I get quite a lot of texture under my eye, but this isn't giving that away. I'm really not mad at that at all. You can see that there's a real glow coming through. Obviously I have used a glowy foundation too, but if this was something like Tarte Shape Tape, this would have gone matte straight away. I definitely don't feel like it's as full coverage as Tarte Shape Tape, which actually for me I'm very pleased about because I don't like a huge full coverage under my eye. It's clinging to a little bit of my dryness, but I think that is because I am ill. The one place that I get a patch of dryness is literally just there. I think it's clinging to that, but I think, I'll be honest, any concealer at this point would have clung to it. Oh my god. This is the absolute worst. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to go down as an eye base, but I'm willing to try it, because if it's a hydrating eye base, then that would be a breakthrough. I just find that I think a hydrating eye base would be perfect for me. I'm going to mix C6 and C9. Okay. 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 Okay, so already I'm liking this. I can see that it's hydrating straight away. Okay, I think I'm converted. Don't get too excited, Annie. Hold your horses. I'm a big fan. It's definitely not as full coverage as the Tarte Shape Tape. I'm also going to stay on camera while I try and blend some eyeshadow on for you. But that's done a really nice job. A really, really nice job. The thing that I'm annoyed about is that the shade range doesn't seem to be diverse. Again, that's C9, it goes up to like C14, and C9 is like this. That is something that I'm a little bit like about. However, it is a vegan and cruelty-free brand, which is really, really good. I'm trying to start using as many vegan and cruelty-free brands as I can. It's like my 2018 mission to go as cruelty-free as I can. There's just no need for it. The difficult thing with MAC is that because they trade in China, it technically can't be classed as like cruelty-free. They use animal products in, so like beeswax and stuff in some of their products, so they can't be classed as vegan either. I understand that for a huge billion-dollar company to change, it will take a long time. They are making a lot of steps towards being that way, but I think for brands such as, like for example Kat Von D, obviously from the outset their ethos was to be vegan. Same with people like Jeffree Star, their ethos was to be vegan. So when they started creating products, that was obviously at the forefront of their brand. It wasn't necessarily at the forefront of brands that were started in like the 80s and stuff. So for then these products to be changed, like it takes a long time to be able to filter out these products. I know when I worked there, a lot of the products were disappearing, then being reformulated, then coming back, so I feel like they're definitely on it. They're also changing their brushes to synthetic brushes, which is a really nice move as well. Ideally in 2018 I would like to try and become as cruelty free as possible. Realistically, I still have a lot of products in my kit that are MAC, and I'm not going to throw them away just to go cruelty free. Like I will use them up and it will be a process, but it's 2018, so there's no excuse. Okay. Obviously the concealer is creasing on my eyelids. My eyelids are very creasy, but it is a hydrating formula, so naturally it is going to crease a little bit. The Shape Tape creases a little bit on me too. Let's try putting some eyeshadow on and I will be back. Okay, I'm gonna be real here. I've just had to turn the camera back on because this eye base, or this concealer as an eye base for my eyes, is probably the best thing I've ever used. It's because it's not matte. Like, I feel like the blend, obviously we all know my eyes aren't perfect, so the blend probably is never going to be exactly amazing, but that's probably the most seamless blend I've ever had on my eyelids, ever. It's really sticky. I'm going to just carry on going underneath the eye. So the concealer's quite sticky. What that's kind of done is it means that there's loads of pigment that comes off of the eyeshadow, like straight away, so you don't need to put loads of it on. I'm sold. It might be, I think it's a little bit too heavy for me, maybe, and well, actually no, saying that, it's not too bad at all actually. But as an eye base, hell yeah, I'm totally sold on it. Reminds me very much of the Helen E Cosmetics eye base. If anybody knows any like big makeup artists like Mitchell or Kimberly makeup artists, they all use the Helen E, and so does Stacey Marie I think as well. The one time I did use it, this is what it reminds me of. It's not a full coverage, it's quite pinky coloured, but when it's on any eye it kind of takes on those colour properties. Plus it's quite sticky and tacky. I'm shook. Right, so this is an Anastasia. I used the Melchior Professional Autumn Sunset Shadow, and then I used the Anastasia shadow because I wanted to see how it stuck. Anastasia eyeshadows on me normally go incredibly patchy, like they go quite, some of them do anyway, especially if my eyelids are dry, especially if I'm ill like I am now. So it's like, right, this will be a really good test. It's not gone patchy at all. Normally I'd have like crease patches there and all sorts, but this hasn't done that at all. And even now I'm layering over the top of it, it's still not going patchy. I'm excited. I would recommend that this, I mean it's £4, do you know what I mean? The concealer is £4. Even if there's no actual ones to buy in store, go into store and look at the testers that they have there and pick your shade so you know what shade you are. What I would say is, the C9 is like an NW20 to 25 concealer. The C5 is like an NC 25 but a little bit more, yeah, it's closest to the NC25 concealers. And then the C6 is straight up like an NC20. That's what I would say. When people hype something up, you're kind of thinking to yourself like, is this a true hype? Do you know what I mean? Is this like, is this a huge deal, or are people just making it out to be a big deal? I think this is a big deal. I think this is an absolute game changer. Considering you've got like brands like Tarte that charge so much for their concealer. Don't get me wrong, the Shape Tape is amazing. But if you've got this and it's £4 and it's literally in your nearest Superdrug, like, I could build this up twice. For £4, I'm building that up twice, and it's the best eye base ever. So I think I might be using this now instead of the Tarte Shape Tape as my eye base. So I've just gone and made myself another coffee. And I've just been looking at this eyeshadow in Natural Light. Oh my god, okay. So let me just break it down a little bit. I've struggled, okay, it's been a struggle ever since I've been applying eyeshadow because of the texture on my eyelids. It always frustrates me because I know that I can blend eyeshadow, but it never looks perfect. This literally is the most blended that I've ever been able to get an eyeshadow, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I feel like my makeup life has now started. I feel like now I've found a product that I can use. I'm gonna buy like 10. Wow, okay, this is a big deal. Okay, let's move on. I'm gonna leave this on so that it can wear for a little bit. See how it goes, and I'll check back in with you in, so what time are we on now? It's like 20 to 3 in the afternoon, so I'm going to check back probably about 9 o'clock-ish, something like that. And we'll do a wear test, see how it goes again. I'm going to try out this liquid lipstick that I've got. So first I'm just going to line my lips with a little bit of Kat Von D Bow and Arrow. Okay, so that's just the lip liner on. So when I picked up this shade, it's a little bit of a peachy pink tone. This is in the shade Candy. I wanted to try these, I've heard some good reviews about them, so let's just pop this on. Okay, so immediately I feel like the formula is very, very lightweight, which is really good. It's a little bit pinkier than what I would normally go for. Okay, so this formula reminds me pretty much exactly of the Kylie lip kits. Quite sticky, so it's hydrating, but on me it just comes across as very like, you know, you have to keep like like touching your lips together. I would say it's an exact dupe for Kylie Cosmetics Candy K. I think it's exactly the same thing. The only other thing that I'm going to try is I'm going to try popping on some of these Topshop Illuminator drops, because this is quite a balmy texture and I want to see how this foundation reacts with something as oily as this going over the top of it, whether it separates. I just want to see, because I'm not changing any of these products that I absolutely love, and they have to be able to blend in with what I already love. Okie dokie. Okay, it hasn't moved the foundation, which I'm very happy about. It also hasn't moved the concealer. I like to bring my highlighter drops sort of just slightly underneath the eye as well, just so it really bounces. Because of the shape of my cheekbone, I need to bounce it off of that a little bit. I'm definitely not mad. The more I'm wearing it, the more I'm actually really enjoying the foundation. They're a little bit more difficult to blend into the skin, but it hasn't moved them, it hasn't changed the consistency, which again is one thing that I'm always very conscious about. So if you guys want to stick around and hear my final thoughts, and just keep watching. Okay, so I've been doing my daily business, come back. I've just been editing and doing bits and pieces, so it's now 9:30. It still looks absolutely amazing. Still looks incredible. I am like, everything just, I'm not even being funny. I was expecting it to have moved because it's a little bit more of a moisturising eye base, but it hasn't. Everything stayed completely intact. There's no creasing. Oh my god. I feel like I've just been born. Obviously some of the foundations come off a little bit when my nose has been running, but it stayed on really well. The concealer stayed on. This is a 10 out of 10 and I would literally recommend anybody to go out and give this a try. It's absolutely amazing. Like, I'm done. I'm out. I can't wait to create more eyeshadow looks now. I'm so excited. Move over Tarte Shape Tape. Move over anything else that I was using as a concealer. Move over Urban Decay Naked Skin. I'm obsessed. It's like, the concealer is 100% a 10 out of 10 straight away from me. 100%. It mixes beautifully with other things. I'm going to zoom in the camera for you now so you can see a little bit up close and see the kind of texture that's going on, because obviously there will be texture, but you can decide for yourself. So you can see under my eyes. Under my eyes is where I would get most of that texture, but it looks flawless. You can see where my cheeks, where that highlighter's blended into everything. So thank you guys for watching the video. I'd love to know your comments and your thoughts. If you've tried it already, if you love it, if you hate it, like, leave me all of your comments and stuff down below and I will be replying to them and get back to you. Thank you for sticking around and valuing my opinion enough to watch the video, and I will see you in the next tutorial.